Bienvenidos a Zona Kite, el primer programa de TV dedicado al universo del kitesurf. En Kite, en primera persona, Bruna Cajilla nos lleva a conocer los mejores spots del norte de Brasil. En Kite Calendar, nos vamos a Montpellier, Francia, para ver toda la acción del 2021 Fórmula Kite y del Campeonato Europeo. En Viajando con el Viento, seguimos al equipo de duotón a través de Namibia. En Kite School, aprendemos a hacer un water start después de una caída en olas con la Duotón Academy. En el clip del día, cerramos el programa con Ruben Lenten y Aaron Hadlow, dándolo todo en las costas de Dinamarca. Llegó la hora de entrar en la zona donde volar es posible. Esto es Zona Kite. Si hay algo de lo que estamos seguros, es que no podrías pedir una mejor guía turística para este tipo de viaje. Veamos los mejores lugares para practicar kite a lo largo de la costa del norte de Brasil, con la rider brasileña de North Kiteboarding y 3 veces campeona del mundo, Bruna Cajilla.
Alright, we're here in Ceará, Brazil, the mecca for freestyle kiteboarding. This is the #1 destination. If you want to upgrade your riding, this is the place to be. And I'm Bruna Cajilla, Brazilian kiteboarder, 3 times world champion. And I'm gonna take you on a little trip to see my favorite spots on the north of Brazil.
I have outrun it, I have survived. It's more than just breathing and staying alive. All that I feel is a fire inside. I have outrun it.
Here in Brazil, we like to go through the beaches, find the lagoons, and we drive buggies around. Sometimes there are little problems, small hiccups. So this also happens, you get stuck on the sand with your beach buggy, but it's part of the experience, and lucky we're in Brazil, so everyone helps each other here. So we're here in Cauípe Lagoon, one of the most famous places of freestyle kiteboarding, probably the most famous in the world. We're very lucky, we know the right times to come. Right now there's no one around. I'm gonna take my post 12 meter and go for a little session, warm up, and wait for that kick of the wind. The next spot up is Taiba Lagoon. That's up north from Cauípe, and it's usually less crowded. So those days they're very crowded in Cauípe. You can go to Taiba, and it's always a fun ride. So the third spot up is Lagoinha and Lagoa do Jegue. They're both on the same spot, and it's the furthest north of the trip. And it's also a great spot because it has even less people. The more north you go, the less people you get on the water. We just finished a morning session here in Cauípe Lagoon. It's about midday. At this time, the sun here is brutal, so nothing better than going for a nice and cold açaí for lunch, get a lot of energy, and come back for another session in the afternoon. Completed here in Cauípe Lagoon. I love this place because it gets windy all the way to dark. The lagoon water is warm and it's flat. So it's been a beautiful day here in Brazil. And like we say it here, partiu.
Kite Calendar, nos vamos a Montpellier, Francia, para ver toda la acción del 2021 Fórmula Kite y del Campeonato Europeo.
It's the record number of girls here, so I'm very excited for that. There's really a lot of strong girls in the fleet, so it's not gonna be easy. It's gonna be tough for sure.
Yeah, it's super exciting, super great atmosphere, and it's even cooler that we've got the World Championships in only 4 or 5 weeks after this. So I think everyone's pretty pumped for competition and pretty pumped to start the Olympic cycle off with a bang.
The purpose of the Ace Foil class, I think it's pretty simple. To give a base class, the start class for kite racing. It's a class that is affordable and will help to build a strong young athlete fleet, developing their skills for the future kite racing.
End of day 2 at the European Championship here in Montpellier. It's been a long day of waiting. We were hoping that the wind would turn onshore and build up, but it never really pushed through the 6 knots barrier. Nevertheless, we had some fun. We were playing beach tennis and chatting with the other competitors, so it was a nice day and a bit of rest after the 5 races of yesterday. It's an important phase for everybody to get into the goat fleet, so I will try to have a good rest and be focused for tomorrow and do my best.
This is music for the soul.
I think it's such an amazing community in kite racing, just the whole evolution and the journey that we've all been on. It means that days where we've got no wind like today, actually it's not much of a problem. Everyone just keeps building, keeps growing, and the community gets stronger and stronger. The atmosphere is brilliant and everyone's out having a good time. I mean, we travel to a lot of different places and everyone travels together and it's just fantastic atmosphere.
Even if there's no wind, there's some communication between the riders. We have some discussions about the gear, where the sports needs to go. We also play together and doing some other stuff. Yeah, I think we all enjoy the event and hoping for better days tomorrow, but looks promising and I'm positive-minded.
Yeah, we're here at Gold Fleet Saturday. It's gonna be super tight racing. The points are super close, probably the highest level we've seen in the class so far. over the whole existence of the class. So it's going to be super tight battles out there. And yeah, it's going to be a battle again in the top 14 to move on, and I'm sure a fight for the top 2 to get that spot in the finals.
We are just right before the semi-final. It's pretty intense. We are all the top 14 looking for victory. The format is pretty good because even if you are 14, you can still win the European Championships.
I'm in 3rd position currently, which means I go into the semi-finals, which is really fun. Short course racing, but it will be quite intense because I'll be going in front, but even the person at the back can beat me and still get into the finals.
How do I feel? I can't really tell you. I can't put it into words. Ecstatic, elated, phenomenally happy. Getting to the final for me was already a bit of a not so sure, I wasn't really that confident that I could make it, and when I made it in, that was already more than enough for me actually, and I just raced the best I could.
Yeah, this one feels really good just because it's the first Formula Kite event of the Olympic cycle. So it feels really good to be, starting off strong and just doing really well against my competition. Obviously, everybody's getting so good and so fast that we're going to see the level go up more and more.
El equipo de diseño e innovación de Duotone Kiteboarding está siempre buscando crear los mejores equipos. En esta ocasión, durante la mitad del viaje de prueba anual en Sudáfrica, las cosas se pusieron un poco complicadas, y la necesidad de ser resolutivos fue el máximo objetivo. Es por eso que Ralph Russell, Aaron Hadlow y Marian Hund fueron a Namibia en un viaje de trabajo soñado y espontáneo.
We're here in Namibia, currently testing the new Dice SLS. We're doing quite some changes and the results are pretty promising, I have to say.
We have a great testing team together with Aaron Hadlow and Marian Hund. We are quite experienced in getting the best compromise. Dice is one of our most sold kites, and the SLS, I think it's kind of the cherry on the cake.
This year, with all the crazy things going on in the world, we also had some restrictions in Cape Town which didn't allow us to really go to the beach and do what we needed to do, so we had to find a solution. And one of the options, was to come to the neighbouring country, Namibia.
We had a long drive from Windhoek down to Lüderitz and just arrived at the spot with the perfect conditions. We had 4 hours of testing, it was absolutely fantastic.
It's crazy how the development of the kites has progressed. Like back in the days, it was not that crucial with 5mm more or less, but now with the stiffer material, especially with the SLS, it's like every millimeter counts.
That's a 10 meter. Here we are on the fast setting. The SLS features a new material for the entire inflatable part of the kite, and this material is much stiffer. The way the kite acts in the air is really different to the normal dark run, so we have to readjust and redesign the entire kite shape to the specific characteristics of the material. The Dice SLS is the sportive version of the Dice. I have been into the kite industry since 2000, and we always have been working with a set of standard dark run materials which have been used by the entire industry. We are now on a stage where I always hope to be, and we have the chance to create something which is absolutely outstanding.
The testing is so important because this is what drives the technology forward, the kites forward, and the performance level. We're trying to set the benchmark with Duotone to have some of the best kites out there.
These kites are so performant, they are all built around structural stability. The models I'm doing, which is the Evo, the Dice, the Vegas and the Juice, are not specifically developed for wave riding. Therefore, we have different conditions. We will move to the seaside and also check the drifting ability of the kite, which is a huge important flight characteristic. So we definitely have to focus on that. We have to check the wind conditions. So the forecast is essential for the planning. We also have various models, which makes it easier because then you don't have any downtimes. Today we will focus on the small and medium sizes, and in the other days we are going for the bigger sizes.
The overall impression is what counts. So the moment I launch the kite, I really have a feeling what the kite is like, and then I try to get more into details.
With testing, you have a certain few tricks or a bit of a routine that you go through with every kite. It's not too extreme, just to have a reference and a benchmark against each one.
The progress of getting a kite into production is quite complex. On one side we have the prototypes where we try to ensure that the flight properties are correct. The other is the durability tests. We have to have a wide set of kites which are going to schools mainly, and they are treated really heavily, really bad to see on which particular points the kite's starting to wear out. Good, then we have to try this one today.
We can definitely feel every little change, and that's why we're currently measuring all the bridles and yeah, every millimeter count. We had a day of 50 knots, which was absolutely crazy. It was definitely the maximum power we can handle, and was quite impressive to feel the power of Mother Nature.
Namibia has been a real great success.
It was some pretty intense days, I have to say, but also a lot of fun on the water. We got some proper test results, and we definitely know what the next steps are.
If you have been into kitesurfing for a couple of years and you have the feeling that there's the need to progress then the SLS is absolutely the perfect range for you, regardless if it's the new, the Evo or the upcoming dice.
Yeah, the new SLS dice will definitely be the classic dice that everyone knows, but in a super sportive direction. Any little movement on the bar is turning the kite, you really feel connected to it.
It's a big thing, getting the whole team coming from all over the world, and I can't wait to show you the result of our testing trip.
We really try to push the boundaries of what we are doing in all single aspects. I personally 100% believe that is one of the key elements why we are market leader these days.
En este video te vamos a mostrar cómo escapar de situaciones críticas con un water start. Si ves que se aproxima una ola que ya rompió, un water start rápido combinado con una transición o jibe podría ser tu mejor opción para escapar. Asegúrate de ver primero nuestro video Escape después de una caída para saber cómo reaccionar cuando te caes en las olas. Siempre primero vas a asegurarte de la posición de tu kite y de mantenerlo en el aire. Si tu tabla está mirando hacia la ola, trata de colocar tus pies en la tabla como si estuvieras haciendo un water start normal. Luego, realiza un down loop. Dobla tus rodillas y deja que el kite te saque del agua sobre la tabla. Coloca más peso en tu pie trasero, así la punta de la tabla queda fuera del agua. Utiliza tu pie delantero para dirigir la punta en la nueva dirección. Cuando la punta está mirando hacia el interior, lleva tu kite a 45 grados y de a poco deja ir la barra mientras te estás parando. Siempre trata de anticipar cómo viene la ola que se acerca y trata de evaluar si tenés el tiempo suficiente para realizar un water start antes de que la ola te alcance. Repasemos en detalle los movimientos del kite. Si ves una gran ola acercándose y tu tabla apunta hacia la ola, primero trata de colocar tus pies en la tabla y después hacer un down loop. Cuando la punta de la tabla mira hacia el interior, volá tu kite a 45 grados y recupera velocidad para escapar de la ola. Te puede ayudar mover el kite. Con un poco de práctica y experiencia, también podrás usar esta técnica para el water start y entrar en la cara abierta de la ola. Recordemos los tips más importantes. Coloca los pies en la tabla. Inicia el down loop. Coloca más peso en tu pie trasero y usa tu pie delantero para dirigir la punta de la tabla hacia la nueva dirección. Disfruta de tu aventura con Duotone Kiteboarding Academy. Hoy en el clip del día, cerramos con un video increíble de Ruben Lenteñaro en Handlow en las costas de Dinamarca mientras son filmados por un dron de carrera. Zona Kite es tu zona. Vos también sos protagonista de nuestro programa. Suscríbete a nuestro canal de YouTube y entérate de todo lo que pasa en el mundo del kitesurf. Los esperamos en la próxima edición de Zona Kite.